This is Americana Podcast, the 51st state.
Welcome to Americana Podcast, the 51st state. I'm your host, Robert Earl Keen. Today's episode is a rerun, and we bring it to you with a heavy sadness that is hard to put into words. When we learned of Todd Snider's passing on November 14th, it felt as if something vibrant had suddenly drained from the world, as if a familiar warm light we'd always counted on had quietly dissipated into the ether, leaving us in a cold sadness which we may never shed. Revisiting this conversation now feels like reaching for that light we all miss. Todd had a way of making the world feel a little lighter, a lot funnier, and all the more honest. His storytelling did more than briefly fill your car stereo, living room, favorite live music haunts. It stayed with you long after the music faded, carrying the kind of truth and humor that only he could bring, singing through a one-of-a-kind crooked smile. His voice, his wit, his beautifully kooky way of seeing things continue to travel with us in the songs, the stories, and the moments he gave so freely. As we return to this episode, we do so with gratitude for the spirit of Todd Snider, who shared everything so openly. Listening back is a way of holding on to the warmth, the wonder, the wild sincerity he carried into every conversation. He may no longer be with us, but his sound will remain forever. We share this rerun to honor Todd and the lasting imprint of his voice, a memory that continues to glow even in the spaces he no longer fills. We hope you enjoy this show as much as we did. And remember your love for Todd Snider as we do.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Earl Keen, and you're listening to Americana Podcast, the 51st state. And today we have the incomparable Todd Snider. So let me just jump right in, Todd. Right. And I read your book a couple of times, as a matter of fact, and this is the line that I came up with. You live a carefully orchestrated sequence of random events. and based on that, I want to ask you about Occupy Cheatham Street.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I didn't get enough credit for that. I thought we turned the economy around with that. I was right when they were doing Occupy Wall Street, right? And right. I had 3 days off, and Kent had just passed away, Kent Finley, and I had 3 days off in Texas. So I thought, well, I'll park in front of Cheatham. And then as we were sitting there, I got this idea that we could do Occupy Cheatham Street, you know? And then, so I announced it, like on the computer. And all of a sudden I said, I told everyone to come, and all of a sudden these hippies started coming out of the woodwork, and I said, let's build a fort next to the bus. And so they did. They did. And I kept saying, bring this and bring some other shit. And people just kept coming with stuff. It went on for 3 days. I said, somebody bring a cow down. And they brought a longhorn steer. I got to ride it. And then it was a guitar pull that went on around the clock outside of the bus. I would have my window open and I could hear those kids going all night. I think you kept bringing beer for everybody.
Right.
And then Sterling got this notion that we could kidnap the mayor and figure out why later. So we kidnapped him And then he came down to the bus and we let him go at like 7, but he stayed till like midnight. And that was a fun party. I don't think we accomplished anything. I think the goal was to get politicians to be cooler. That's not too much to ask.
And you really kidnapped the mayor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. No ransom or anything? I mean,
no.
In light of like Occupy Wall Street, there was really no real monetary reward, right?
No goal.
No goal, right. Yeah.
No goal. I've never had those. But but when we, Sterling just was convinced it would be okay. So we went into the mayor's office and told him we were kidnapping him, and he was into it.
Nice.
Yeah, so he came down, and we got him drunk on the bus, and he made a speech. And he had a good time, I think. I found out, I think Sterling knew him from high school or something.
Sterling being Kent's son, right?
Yeah, Kent's son, yeah. So he talked me into it. And then I knew, he knew in advance it would be okay. He was like, well, just go in there and tell him we're kidnapping him and he'll come. It worked. I don't know what the point was. He agreed to be cooler.
You mean the mayor did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds pretty cool just across the board. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. That was a big hang up for us. Because once we met him and he was cool.
This is going the wrong way.
Yeah. We tried to reassess our platform at that point, but it was already too far gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't do any.
Texas.
Yeah. I didn't get in any trouble. And then, man, I remember I started playing these gigs. This is true. One of my favorite memories is like I played Cheatham, and there was this party going on across the street of all these kids that couldn't get in. They were just drinking that beer you brought and playing and singing. And when the show got over, you call it a longhorn, it's got the horns on it, the bull.
Right.
Was like asleep against the fence next to the bus. And this young hippie girl was asleep against the bull. And I just thought, what a surreal situation. I laid down there and had my picture made with them both, and the girl woke up. What a party.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
good times.
Kent Finley was one of your early mentors, right?
Yeah. Making a difference. Yes. Man, I love him. I've been talking to his ex-wife, Diana, a lot lately. He was my first person to turn me on to you and everybody else. He was my gateway to all these hotel rooms.
So let's talk about the book. I never met a story I didn't like. Mostly true tall tales. You wrote with Peter Cooper, correct?
Yeah.
You give Peter a lot of credit here about like he did almost all the work. Is that really how it went?
Yeah, he just interviewed me and kind of wrote it in. As we were going, he would just go like, okay, well, tell me about Jerry Jeff. Tell me about Buffett. And I'd get going. And yeah, he, not only that, but he helped me process some of that stuff as I was bringing it up. And it was like, in a lot of ways, I kind of come off as a better person than I even am, because as I'm working out the book, he's helping me to see stuff like, oh yeah, I guess I was kind of dicky me to take that guy's car and just wreck it. But, but for, I didn't, it helped me to have some perspective, I guess, on how much people had helped me and those types of things.
I have to say, Todd, when I read this book, I have a hard time going to sleep because I've known you for a long time. I can't get your voice out of my head because, I mean, it is so solidly you, and the way it's, presented and how you tell a story, but not only tell a story, just talk about your life in general. And, a lot of fun. So anyone that's interested in Todd Snider should definitely pick up this book because it's a great read and a lot of fun. But there were things like there were insights that I got that I, sort of heartfelt kind of things about how you have such great respect for some really, I would say just mega artists and music movers and shakers, like Jimmy Buffett and Hunter S. Thompson, Garth Brooks, and how you kind of put them almost like they're in a different species, like they're some kind of badass water buffalo, and where you look at them like you don't look at them like you're afraid of them, or you don't look at like they're some kind of threat or something. You look at them for like what they are, and then you have this genuine outpouring of respect for them. And you go on a lot about Bob Mercer, whom I don't know, and I was wondering if you could tell us about Bob.
Man, I'll tell you, his whole career started. He got traded from a potato chip company to EMI to do their books. And the Beatles, whatever label had the Beatles, and the Beatles didn't want to record. They were kind of pulling a strike. And Bob Mercer was the youngest guy at the company. So the president sent the youngest guy they had to figure out what the Beatles wanted. And what they wanted was to record at night and not have to wear ties. But all of a sudden, Bob was at his funeral, all these old guys were saying this. Bob was the first A&R guy. And his job was to make the Beatles happy. And then he got to be like the president eventually. He signed the Sex Pistols. Sid Vicious spit on him. He's the guy Sid Vicious spit on. And he was a Jimmy Buffett's running buddy, and he took over Margaritaville and signed me and always encouraged me to do whatever I wanted. And he was the president of the company, even if I'd get in trouble, he just never cared. And I always was like a muse to me. And we listened to tons of records together, and like he kind of was my audience. Like do you have any people where you're working on your record and you're like I have an audience of one sometimes? I'd just be thinking about that one guy. He was the most artistic type of like he didn't play or sing or anything, but he was just he was a record man. But he just was a wide open free spirit and wasn't afraid to put his money where his mouth was and got me. He really took care of me in my life. I don't know why he thought I was so funny, but he always was protecting me. And he got me like when I was on MCA and then I went back to MCA, he got all this like, all the shit you have to give away. I got a bunch of it back. And like I got to control my greatest hits record. But man, the guy was like Arthur. Remember that movie, Arthur?
Mm-hmm. Right, yes.
He was just fucked up all the time, but he was running that business. He drove 1,000 miles an hour drunk wherever he went. I never gave a shit. But he knew his music, man. And there was, he even would try to encourage me to act out sometimes. And
really?
Uh-huh. Or
in what way?
He'd like, he like would tell me some festival, like if I was complaining about the way I was being. I remember one time we were being treated poorly at a festival, and he said, "Well, tell the crowd," And it just turned into a fiasco. And he loved it. Just little stuff like that. When he'd hear, he was the president, but for some reason, if he found out I didn't make it to a show, he thought that was funny.
And you didn't always get that reaction from the other water buffaloes, huh?
No, none of the other ones. None. But I love that you say I did try. You know what's true is like when I got the chance to make that book too, I remember telling Peter, it's like, I never got ripped off and there wasn't anybody that wasn't cool to me. So I don't want to have any of that in here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it shows. It's like I said, it's a total pleasure to read. And another thing that I picked up is, and I knew this anyway, Todd, but you are such an incredible student of the craft of songwriting. And I just wanted to ask you, I have to refer to the songwriter Frank Lesser. One of his routines was to get up at 4 a.m, and he wrote till about 10 a.m, and then went back to sleep. And I know that you're an early riser, so that's why I bring that up. So can you give me a little bit of insight into your process, your genuine day process to like write a song?
Yeah. I usually get up like at 5, and that's what I do. Like right before the sun comes up, I just naturally get up. Even if I went to bed at 1, I get up at 5, and then I'll work on songs kind of compulsively. I'll wake up and start chugging coffee and smoking pot till I'm just shaking. And and I just chip away at songs, and then I take a nap, and then I just go out looking for them later that day, or go out trying to live them. I don't do that like I used to, but I used to wake up really early, work on songs, then go back to bed, and then wake up and head down to the bars and try to instigate stuff or try to get people acting out, and anytime someone's leaning towards acting out, be the person who says, yeah, do it. and then just try to...
You're the enabled or the enabler, right?
Yeah. Trying to stir the soup, make it rhyme later.
Yeah, there you go. So you kind of touched on this when you were talking about the book, but as someone who's processed both grief and hardship quite openly in their work, is songwriting an actively therapeutic process?
God, this is crazy. I'm like, I am grateful to be having this conversation with you. I want to ask you all this shit. Well, yeah. For me, that's how it started. Is this almost like a journal or a meditate, some place where you could go get the last word, or the girl kind of go just sing it out. Sit in your room and sing it out, and it became like if I didn't feel like someone was treating me right, or I maybe have some fantasy about saying all the right things to somebody, or just sit in my room and sing. And then I started realizing that, those were you'd call that a new song, But I didn't really know that until I met Kent. And then he was like, these are songs. There's people that's all they do is write songs. I didn't really know him much. Like, I didn't know Chris Christopherson or Bobby McGee or any of that when I was 19.
Right. And so is there a time when this becomes internal and it's a subconscious process and you finish a song and then you go, hey, I know what this is about. It's not obviously pointed, but you're saying something.
A lot of times it's done. Do you do that too? You go like, oh, I get what I was doing.
Yeah.
Just let it out.
Kind of frightening.
Yeah, I sometimes go, oh, shit. Yeah. Sometimes I just try to get out of the thing's way and then listen to it later and go, oh, wow. In fact, when I listened to I just went through a divorce, and during that time I was making up songs for the hardworking Americans, and then after the divorce, I heard that record and I was like, how did you not see it coming? It's all over this record, But I like it as a therapeutic thing. In fact, my goal when I started was that I never wanted to lose that part of it, and that if I did, then I should stop doing it as for money. If it doesn't help you, if it doesn't help process grief, or if it doesn't help you celebrate, if it's just no longer doing that first thing it did, like if I'm not still into doing it like at a campfire, then I don't suppose I don't know if I'd go out and do it on the road.
Oh, that's a good test. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So you've written everything from drug abuse to great American protest songs, inherently encapsulating much of what is almost expected of American songwriter experience, whilst not letting any particular subject dominate your discography.
Oh, man.
How do you go about approaching such difficult subjects without relying heavily on one single issue in particular?
Wow. God, man, that just makes me feel so... Oh, that was great. Oh, man, I didn't know I was doing any of that. That makes me feel really good. That's a good question because I don't know. It makes me feel good to hear you say that. I do. I like to sing. I make up way more songs than I use. For me, the issue is which ones to leave the house with. Sometimes I'll leave the house with one and really be sorry. As soon as I start singing it in front of somebody else, I'm like, oh, stop.
Well, I was like just listening to what is it? Stuck in the Middle on Peace Queer. Is that
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
And I mean, you're totally channeling this sort of social strata lifestyle. That's, I know, not your lifestyle,
Right.
but it's really sounds real, and also it does what I just admire greatly, which is your ability to mix humor and philosophy. Kind of just almost melds into one somehow.
Oh man,
And
thank you.
but that to me is like some of your like right there. I mean, how do you, let's just talk about that song. How do you channel into that guy that dealing with Mr. Handelman?
Right. So that song in particular, I went to the Taco Bell, and there was a guy in front of me in this wicked sweet car. I don't know car names, but you could tell this was like a nice one. And he had a nice outfit on, and because I could see he was angry at whoever gave him the tacos. And I was behind him. I couldn't imagine what could have gone so wrong with a fucking taco, or how this guy could have gotten so worked up. And then when I got to go get my taco, I look in, it's just a high school kid that had angered this man so. And so as I'm driving home, I'm thinking, what kind of day? First of all, you have a nice suit and a nice car. So what kind of day did you have that makes you turn on the Taco Bell kid like that?
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, I start thinking, well, whatever this guy's doing to get these things that he has, it's turning him into a dick. So what's the point if you have jet skis, if none of your friends, if all the people that use them hate you, or like, because you're so pissed off, you're the angry inch, and I started thinking, wonder what led to that? Like, what happened to that guy today? He looks like he's doing fine. Why is he mad about a taco? And then I started I started picturing what his day might have been like. And I was like, maybe some guy got the promotion he wanted and then told him he was going to have to really buck up. I just started picturing what kind of demeaning life, even if you're like an executive, it can be really demeaning and your kids aren't satisfied. And I just thought, this is what, these guys, in my mind, I was like, so he just took all that out on the Taco Bell kid, and now he's going to go home and, do what? I don't know what those kind of guys do.
You've really become, as a songwriter, a conduit between John Prine and, say, Jason Isbell. And how does that mentor-mentee thing transfer, like within your lifetime? I mean, where you go from being the mentee and become more of a mentor.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone sees me as a mentor. Like John helped me a lot. John just was a generous person and like just knocked the dumb sunglasses off me, He just told me some shit I needed to hear when I needed to hear it. But then like Jason and Amanda, sometimes I feel like I'm their kid, they're a little more together than me. Jason's a sturdy fucker, man. Like the night I met him I was working on agnostic hymns, and he reminded me of Prine. And then by the time that night was over, I was asking him to help me with this recording. And then I heard some of them Southeastern songs, and I was like, look out, man. Then I married him. And then I do know a lot of the younger singers. I think of like when I came along, you were incredibly kind to me, took me everywhere and treated me great. And I just try to pass it on like that.
Yeah.
If I like that sort of tradition, like I liked it when I met you and you were nice to me. I liked it when I met Jerry Jeff or anybody like that, and they were nice to me, and it felt like a sort of a family-ish fraternal order of the strippers before tippers.
I one of my favorite moments when we worked together was at Tipitina's in New Orleans, and it was packed. I mean, I think it holds like a total of 850, and there are about 950 people in there, and they're just stuffed. And I went to you and you're like, man, there's not two people in here that are here to see me. I'd say, on the contrary, I think about half these people are here to see you. And you're like, no. And I said, okay, Todd, whatever. And you get up there and you played, They Call Me the Breeze, right?
Yeah.
And then you set the guitar down and said, for my next number, I need a volunteer from the audience.
Yeah.
And you walked off the stage, down the ramp, out the side door, got in your van and drove back to Nashville. And people were running all over the place going, where's Todd? Where's Todd? I go, how the fuck should I know?
I disappeared.
Yeah. And then when I asked you about it later, you said, I always wanted to do that, man.
I did. I did. And I had a set list that said, Call Me the Breeze, and then Magic Trick.
Let's talk about, performing. And I do sometimes, like, say, when I play a train song, I'll say, if you've never seen Todd Snider, don't miss a chance to see Todd. And because he's probably one of about 4 people that I know that was actually truly born for the stage. And you'll see all kinds of crazy people on stage, but they don't know what the stage is about, and they don't have that natural inclination for the stage. And no one does it better than you do. And so I was thinking about, how you have this legacy of great songs and how you manage your set list. Because other than that one you just explained about the Call Me the Breeze and
yeah.
I've never really paid any attention to your set list.
Right. I do. You want to know, here's something. This does not sound as stoner as you'd think, but I have a notebook that's turned into like a website. So wherever I am, about an hour before the show, I'll put some music on and start kind of getting into it, make some coffee. And then Brian, who works on the road with me, will put all the set lists, like say if I'm in St. Louis, he'll show me all 3 of the last St. Louis shows and all the stories that get told in there too. So I'll remember, and then I'll just say, okay, I don't want to repeat any of this shit. And then I'll make a set list based on that. And then sometimes I abort the set list if I just feel like going another way.
If you feel like going do you switch horses in midstream sometimes on a show?
Yeah.
When you're playing and thinking this next song's not going to fly, or I need to bump it up, or I need to back off some, that kind of thing.
All that, yeah. And just trying to also channel my own mood. I'm friends with that Richard Lewis, the comedian. He's a legend. And he has been, one of the things I got into that jam thing for was because I wanted to learn, it sounds crazy, but I wanted to see if I could apply any of that improv jam shit to the way I talk, And Richard Lewis also was helping me. I was like, I would like to just improv a little. So sometimes, like in the last couple of years, I've had a few nights where I just walk out there and don't throw the first punch. I just stand there until I get a feeling, and then I just follow it,
I need to ask you a thing about your storytelling, and I got this from your book as well, Todd, that you really spend some time working out these stories in advance, where and you do it so well that it seems, it just seems like you're just standing up there riffing. But and somewhere else in the book it says that you sort of do about 50-50. And I was wondering what the difference is as far as how you write it down and bring it to the stage, or how you just, when you just go up there and impromptu riff, that's
right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I walk a lot, and when I'm walking, I'll be telling myself this stories and sort of working it up, and then I'll start just telling it, and it usually evolves after that. Jimmy Buffett taught me this thing a long time ago about he was basically saying, how did he say it? he showed me these little storytelling tricks that are hard to explain, but it reminded me of what some of those jam guys said. It's like, if just sort of know the end, I guess, and usually the end is the song, so that you're coming to. So I tend to just talk about the song, I guess. You know, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, though, he's the master.
Yeah, and like Guy Clark used to say, they don't call him rambling
because he travels,
right? Yeah, because he travels, right? Exactly. Yeah.
He can really do like every sort of parlor trick. I mean, he's a genuine fucking guy, but also if there's any sort of Catskillian shit that you can lay on some people, he knows how to do it. You know, I like all that crap.
So, yeah, I would. You know, the other thing was fascinating is I have threatened, just too lazy really, but I've threatened to, write some of the stories down, and I don't know. I don't think I have some of the chops that you do to bring it to the stage. Once it's written, I always, if I even kind of scratch out something, it feels like it comes off stiff, and there's that need to be like right on the edge with a story, really right there on the edge. And me being on the edge is like really me being on the edge, right? But my best friend Duckworth used to say, he's always been a pain in the ass my whole life, but he says, when you start telling those stories, which are okay sometimes, he says, it's like you reach out from the apple tree and you're on the trunk there and you're reaching out for a big, beautiful red apple and you come back with a raisin. And I'm like, thanks, man. Yeah.
I have those.
Have come back with the raisin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
God, and one time I was in Pittsburgh and I started playing this song called Easy Money and someone yelled out, "You've played that already." And some other guy said, "Twice."
Whoa.
Yeah. I guess. You ever get that burned out?
No, but I did some shows with Jesse Winchester one time where he got through about 5 songs and he literally started the set with the stories and the songs exactly the same.
Oh, God damn.
And that was one weird, and I love Jesse and it was just freak. And I was in the audience. I went with Barry Poss from Sugar Hill Records and we just kept looking at each other and says, he's not really doing this. And,
jeez. Yeah. What, like a tick, like a Willis Allen tick.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. So back to a little bit about the songs. Man, how many people have recorded your songs, Todd? I mean, other than, a lot of just independents that I might not be able to find. I mean, but you've got
it's some like a
huge catalog of people that
there's a bunch, Ingram, a bunch. Mark Chestnut was one. I forget. There's a bunch though. No, never really Allen the single. Yeah, he called the record "All Right Guy."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm trying to think of some others. I love that when I get a song cut. You did one. You did the train song. That just meant the world to me,
Yeah. Still do it all the time. And, always gets a great reaction. So
that's maybe my favorite one.
Love that song. Well, I mean, that has great meaning to you, right? About Skip Litz, right?
Yeah, he was my brother, man. And he was a song, and it was so funny. As soon as he died, that song just fell out of me like it was already done.
Right. Huh. That's funny you say that because, when I just decided to do that song on a record because I don't know if I just woke up one day, but, metaphorically, I just woke up one day and picked up the guitar and I could play the whole song without even looking at a lyric. And I was just,
oh, wow.
How did that happen? It just
totally
just sunk in, it was just.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now you made my year.
Malcolm Gladwell stick thing or whatever. So there's a cool story in the book about Garth Brooks and then that song, All Right Guy. And I'd just like you to dispel this or clear it up for me. I heard almost that same story, except for it was about Tomorrow Never Comes, I think.
Yeah.
Right. But it was he sent you some money because he cut Tomorrow Never Comes, which is like a Tony Ramos song or something, right?
Yeah, no. Here's okay, so for starters, when he was doing the Chris Gaines record, he recorded All Right Guy and almost put it on the record, and then it didn't make it. Like, it was one of the last ones cut off the record. And for that, he sent me $10,000. Unheard of.
No.
That's unheard of. And so, and also, I really, really liked him. I was really impressed with the way he treated everybody and the artistic way he was coming at his recordings. It wasn't what I had expected from like the media or whatever. And then years later, I came up with that Beer Run song. And then about a couple years after that, he gets a Beer Run song. And I know for a fact that he didn't take it from me. But I ran into that Kent Blasey at a Tom T. Hall thing, and we just joked about it. It was no big thing. But then I turned it into a story at the show where I say, and this isn't true. I mean, it's slightly true, I guess, but we knew that he hadn't taken anything from me and I hadn't taken anything from him. But as I was, he wrote If Tomorrow Never Comes, Blasey did. And so as I was leaving that thing that night, I thought, well, if he did take Beer Run, I guess I could take If Tomorrow Never Comes. And but he didn't. I just knew I had a funny, it's like I had this song, If Tomorrow Never Comes. And I think, I don't even know which came first, the story or the thing. But it was like we were joking around about Beer Run at that thing. And then later, maybe I got this idea that I could make up a song called If Tomorrow Never Comes. But that's it,
Mm-hmm.
And then I told that story, and I think it's on a live record.
Ah, there it goes.
Yeah.
Slips into the ether there.
Yeah. But I didn't feel ripped off by anybody.
Yeah. No. It's a huge waste of time, I want to say. I mean, like Fred Eaglesmith used to say, we all burrow.
Burrow, yeah. I wouldn't care. Burrow. Yeah, if the guy said to me, I did take that from you, and I think he did say they'd heard it, but I wouldn't give a shit. Mine wasn't commercial. Mine was about you. Mine's about you.
There's no commercial value in that one, man. I'll tell you that.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Todd Snider shortly. At Americana Podcast, it is our long-standing goal to explore music, and Americana music in particular, through all of its phases. With help from our good friend, local music connoisseur, and as of this episode, music historian, the well-worded Will Vogt, this is Will's Pick. All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan from his record, John Wesley Harding. In an earlier pick, Will made the case that the band's second album, aka the Brown Album, which was released in 1969, could be considered the first Americana album. Under further reflection, he is now rolling back the clock to 1967 and the release of Bob Dylan's 8th studio album, John Wesley Harding, which is his candidate for the honor. Bob Dylan's career was at a crossroad in late 1967. He had not played music in public since 1966, and it had been 18 months since the release of Blonde on Blonde, which successfully captured what he described as his thin, wild Mercury sound. Dylan had been woodshedding with the band in upstate New York, writing and playing songs that reconnected him to his earliest influences in roots and folk music. Although none of the songs from the basement at Big Pink made it onto his record, the inspirations from those sessions are clearly found on John Wesley Harding. 1967 was the high point of psychedelic rock and was dominated by big, fully produced albums like the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's, Rolling Stones' Satanic Majesty's Request, Cream's Disraeli Gears, to name a few. The charts were dominated by these big, loud rock bands. Against that musical background, Bob Dylan turned up in Nashville to record John Wesley Harding in October of 1967, with a studio band that included only Kenny Buttrey on drums, Charlie McCoy on bass, and Pete Drake on pedal steel for the last two tracks. 12 songs were recorded in 3 quick sessions. Many of these new compositions clocked in at less than 3 minutes, and not one included a chorus or anything that could be considered a hook. Nevertheless, to many fans and critics, this is Dylan's most perfectly executed album, an album whose austerity and directness in lyric and sound captured the essence of Americana before it was even recognized as a genre. With fewer words than usual, Dylan's stark ballads tell the tales that are steeped in rural agrarian culture. Filled with biblical references and sly jokes, these stories include a cast of American characters who populate a land far from any big city. Opening the record is the tale of John Wesley Hardin, a Texas outlaw and a gunslinger. From there, he sings about drifter's escape, a lonesome hobo, and the unscrupulous landlord, among others. All are people who are caught in situations that speak to bigger themes in life. It is the set of the original songs that support Will's claim that this album is the beginning of a new genre known as Americana. The standout song from John Wesley Harding, which was made famous by the Jimi Hendrix cover, is All Along the Watchtower. Beginning with a blast of harmonica over acoustic guitar strums, Dylan sings, "There must be some kind of way out of here," said the Joker to the thief. "There's too much confusion here, I can't get no relief," which leads to 3 short verses of darkness and menace, and then the nihilistic final lines. Outside in the distance, a wild cat did growl. 2 riders were approaching, the wind began to howl. It is a song that is as haunting today as it was 50 years ago, thus making it Will's pick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Earl Keen, and you're listening to Americana Podcast, the 51st State. We can't go on without talking about you. I guess you're doing some streaming now with the pandemic raging,
Oh, yeah. I'm dominating the stream game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
you know
good.
what? I have this purple building. It's where I am now. There's this purple building right in the middle of East Nashville where I keep all my crap.
Uh-huh.
And I'm an arthritic guy, so eventually I won't probably be able to tour as much as I used to. And so we were thinking about doing the stream thing. Anyway, I had been getting gear like lights and cameras and crap. And right when the pandemic hit, we were like, well, shit, we were already ready to do it. And so we started, I think, the first week, and I've done every Sunday. I really dig it, too. It's like a cross between a show and a radio visit and a recording session, I really get into it.
So what's the name of it?
It's called the First Agnostic Church of Hope and Wonder, where we're always hoping for something and wondering what the fuck. And I got a new record I'm calling that, too. I made it here in the same building.
Yeah?
Yeah, I made a new album. I play everything. I'm like the Prince Nelson Riley of folk.
There is, and it goes on Sundays, huh?
Yeah, and I sell certificates to it.
What?
So
Wait
sad.
a minute. What?
And also I sell jars with sunshine in them. But you can't, if you open them, that's your business, then I can't be held accountable for what happens to the ray after you've opened it. So it says do not open right there on the jar.
And what do you get for a jar of sunshine?
What do we get for a jar of sunshine? No, it's like $6, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It takes a couple hours to harvest.
Well,
You got to put the jars out. But nobody's tried to bring one back yet.
And there's been no G-Men revenues too?
No, none.
Yeah. No white lightning problems right there.
Nope.
So the show lasts what do you do, Sundays?
I've been doing a little over an hour sometimes if I get, going and forget. And then the day Jerry Jeff died, I did like a couple of hours. I just did all of his songs. I just kept doing his songs. I could have gone on and on. And then about 5 weeks ago, I started this thing where I just, like I did my first record, then my second record. And now, like this weekend, I'm doing East Nashville Skyline all the way through. I'm on my 6th one. So
man,
I'm going to do all my records, just solo and tell the stories behind the songs.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
A lot of the songs I'm tired of, but I just say that. It's like, this one I'm not into, but... Or like, this chick turned out to be uncool, but song's still good.
Speaking of songs about chicks or women or girls, man, I always thought one of the, your masterpieces, just, and I'm sorry, I don't know the title, but is it American something about the cop comes to the door and says,
yeah, just like old times.
Just like old times.
Yeah.
That, man, kills me. That one kills
Thank you. I worked on that one for so long.
Yeah.
And then, and now there's a movie based on the song. I think just came out. Yeah. And there's an actor in it that all my friends know who he is. He came and followed me around. He came on the road and followed me around. And then they show me the movie and he acts like a dick.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah. I'm like, was that what I was doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
So who is the actor?
Do you guys know who the actor is? No? I didn't believe it was real. When the guy came to my house to ask me about it, I told him I told him I thought he was full of shit.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't buy it. But I just didn't see why some guy who made movies would drive to my house. And
Yeah.
I just thought it was probably someone who liked folk singing or something. But then it turned out it was real. And I saw the movie. Prine was there. He saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy comes off as like this reckless, kind of a goof or whatever. But
right.
they just get him acting all wasted or something.
Same title, the movie?
It's called A Hard Luck Love Song. That might be one of my favorite songs. That's kind of true, that song.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. I made my character a pool shark instead of a singer just because I had so many songs where the guy's a singer already.
Right.
So I just was like, I'm a pool player. And there was a girl I grew up with that was a, that had an ad in the scene.
Yeah.
And I'd known her that she always had the same ad. So anytime I bounce around from town to town, if I'd see that, I'd be looking through the weekly scene and I'd see this one ad and I knew that was the girl from Beaverton. So I'd call her and she'd come hang out,
Uh-huh.
But, and so one night the cops came and it was clear that this is a shitty hotel. She's clearly a hooker and I'm clearly a crappy guy. But I've known this girl since she was a kid, And he bought it. I didn't really have a picture of her in my wallet to show the guy, but I was like, no, I'm sure. That's what I said. I remember saying to him, I'm sure she is, but that's not all she is. And that's when I thought I would make a song about this girl that I was like, it's probably true that she went to that hotel sometimes to do that. But on that particular occasion, we were just drinking wine and catching up. Yeah, when that chokes me up a little. And then when she heard the song, she was really mad.
Really?
And then and she thought that people were going to find out. And then she went to a show, and there's a line in in the song where the cop lets us go, and the crowd cheers, and that made her like all this. That changed the game for her. She loved the song. She didn't think people were going to root for us.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you just tell her that that's what we live for, is the cheering? I mean,
yeah, geez, you wouldn't do something to get not cheered for.
Yeah, right. I have a couple of questions about Americana music. They're just straightforward. Would you consider yourself an Americana artist?
I guess I more think of myself as a folk singer or like a busker type of a guy, like a Ramblin' Jack. But Americana, anytime they have a car wash, they want me to come help, And then you feel like you have to go,
Uh-huh.
I acted out at the trophy thing a few years ago.
You did?
Yeah, I got into it with the stage manager on account of him being a dick. I like the radio stations. We're traveling around and going to Americana stations and those DJs around the country, like the ones K-Pig started, I think.
Right. Well, here on Americana Podcast, we're really just trying to, define and expand the whole genre as much as possible and just get people's thoughts about it as far as like, what they consider Americana and how it works for them. Do you have someone that you would consider, the quintessential Americana artist?
Let me see. That's a cool, like current, you mean?
Well, living or dead, actually.
Yeah. Well, like I say, sometimes I feel like Graham Parsons or Willie and Waylon, they sort of get the credit for creating this sort of hippie side of country music, which is really what I fell for, was that. And and then like Guy and Towns and that, and James McMurtry. I mean, I don't mean to be negative about it either. I've had some fun at the award thing. I met Billy Bob Thornton at that thing, and I think I've been nominated for some of them and sang. I like it. I like that we have a genre or whatever. I remember when we used to just have that magazine, No Depression.
But my old drummer, Mark Patterson, you remember him, I'm sure. But yeah. Mark Patterson says they should call that magazine No, Depression.
Yeah, no shit.
I used to think that too. Do you suffer from anxiety? No, depression.
Yeah, that's exactly. And it was that way. I'll tell you though, the Jayhawks, remember them? And like all those cats. I do like that kind of music. It's always been the kind, like anywhere from Taj Mahal to to what's that guy from Led Zeppelin?
Robert Plant.
Yeah, that guy. He's badass. Yeah. I saw him at that award show not long ago. Yeah. Or even Loretta Lynn. I call it unsuccessful country music in general, or at least that's how it started. But now it's really broadening out, I guess.
All right, Todd. So we're going to move on to the lighter side. This is the lighter side of the program. These are just, kind of odds and ends sort of thing. We can almost think about it like a TV game show or something, but it's just, the last book you read.
Yeah. Okay. What was the last book I read? Hondo, My Father by Becky Crouch Patterson.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And it was the second time. I read it once before about 20 years ago. But with Jerry Jeff passing, you know that guy, Hondo.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Lukenbach.
Yeah, sure.
I just felt like he played such a big role in whatever that was that happened in Austin. His spirit played such a big role. I never knew him, but I knew. Do you know Colonel Bruce Hampton?
I do. I've met him a few times. I was at a few things with him before. Yes.
He's a sort of a Hondo-y Willie kind of guy. Well, he was before he passed away at his own gig on stage.
Right. He did.
Yeah.
He's one of those where you're scrolling through your computer and it says artists who have died on stage.
He's in.
All of a sudden all of a sudden you're buying some Cialis or something.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me.
Favorite hobby or pastime other than music?
Gardening.
Yeah. Really?
I'm a flower gardener.
Yeah.
I get real into making roses and lantanas, and that's mostly what I do. I have a garden at the house that I get into. And that's about it. Other than that, I just do music.
Yeah. Have you ever had a nickname?
Oh yeah, The Load. When I was always borrowing everything. But also the Tipsy Gypsy and...
the what?
The Tipsy Gypsy.
The Tipsy Gypsy. God, that sounds like some kind of one of those stop action cartoons or something.
Right. Or like a store you'd get a dream catcher at.
Uh-huh.
Like they have... I'm trying to think. I don't really know if I've had it. When I was in the Hardworking Americans, they called me the Blind Lemon Pledge.
Nice.
And then I play around town sometimes under the name Elmo Buzz. Like I'll play little bars in East Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
I have a band called Elmo Buzz and the East Side Bulldogs. And so then when I do that, people call me the Buzz.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that one. You played that Blue Note in Missouri before, Columbia, Missouri, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They used one time, there's only one time I saw this, but across the alley, well, we played there together, I think, one time. Because I remember we got in that little spat with that guy that was trying to find out if Willie Nelson was in that bus.
Oh, yeah.
And you kept just drawing him out. It was so brilliant. It was so great. The guy was like, do you know if the bus stops here? Is this a bus stop? And no, it's not really a bus stop. Well, what's that bus doing there? And then you said, well, we can't tell you because, that we're just not at liberty to say, but you know who he is. And then the guy keeps going on. And then he finally says something like, you're fucking with me, man. And you go, you think this is a fucking bus stop? Are you kidding me? Who's fucking with who here? That was so great. That was a great moment, Todd.
I love going on tours with you, man. And you've been so nice. You take me everywhere. That has helped me so much. And then that thing we did with Bruce was so fun. Remember when I gave him those pot cookies and he didn't know that that's what they were? The humanity.
Okay, more on the lighter side. More on the lighter side. All-time favorite movie?
Where the Buffalo Roam, where Bill Murray plays Hunter Thompson.
Yeah. That one you mentioned in the book, don't you? That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm not a movie guy.
You still watch it?
All the time.
Wow.
And I have the script too. I bought it. And I don't really go for movies much. That's kind of the only one. I watch that movie and I watch that show Flipper. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it.
So have you been back to Tillamook County?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I have. And the sheriff is my friend. About 2 years after I got arrested, I realized why I was wrong. At first, I was really thought that they had thrown the book at me for no reason, but now I kind of get it. But that guy, every year, he gets a bunch of copies of that record for Christmas and gives them out to people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I love that town. And they were nice to me in jail.
What artist would you consider? What artist would people be surprised that you listen to?
Oh, yeah. Parliament. Yeah, Parliament. George Clinton. I love George Clinton.
Yeah.
Or like Booker T and the MGs is something I love. Let's see what. Yeah, I love that question. I like just about anything, man. I listen to almost anything. Right. Punk music never got me too much. I like all the earrings and the funny hair, but I never understood the tunes. I'm kind
of... that's good.
I kind of like it when people boogie more than when they just go, and then yell at me about whatever. That's the only one, but anything else I dig.
The lightning round, these are just pretty much either or questions, okay?
Okay.
And I know it seems silly, but, indulge me a little bit here. You ready?
Yeah.
Sox or Yankees?
Ooh, Yankees.
Titans or Patriots?
Titans.
Tammy Wynette or Loretta?
Loretta.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Yeah.
Memphis or Knoxville?
Memphis.
Catering or buyout?
Buyout.
Mozart or Beethoven? Millions of dollars in prizes
Beethoven.
here.
Beethoven.
Okay, there you go. Merle or Buck?
Merle.
Bowie or Freddie Mercury?
Ooh, Bowie.
Yeah. Donuts or beignets?
Uh-oh. Oh, I know what a beignet is. That's at that place in New Orleans.
Right.
Yeah, right. Cafe Du Monde.
Yeah.
Oh, correct. Beignets. Yeah, those.
Those are
I
got an order of beignets there the last time I was there. I got like the family order for just me, and I'm eating on them. And these three guys are next to me. They finished theirs, and the guy turns around and goes, "Hey, you're going to eat all those beignets?" I said, "You're damn right, I'm going to eat all of them." He was just about reaching for one at that time. So. Analog or digital?
Analog.
Reverb or tremolo?
Tremolo.
Turnaround or modulation?
Oh, God, this is good. Turnaround.
All right. Stax or Motown?
Stax.
All right. Ramones or Sex Pistols?
Ramones.
Stand-up comedy or physical comedy?
Stand-up comedy. Although, man, it's hard not to laugh when somebody gets,
falls down some stairs.
Yeah, God. Remember the Three's Company? That guy was always walking into the door. Other people's misfortune is always a joy.
Yeah.
But I'd say stand-up, though.
Yeah, great. All right. Last one on this. Meet and greet or wearing waistlets?
Ooh, God damn, that is two tough ones. God, I might feel better about the waistlet. I have a hard time meeting people after the show. Never goes well for me.
Yeah.
Well, the meet and greets, I always tank those somehow.
Yeah, just to fill in everyone, we're talking to Todd Snider, and waistlets is kind of an explanation in his book about. Well, I guess you didn't really formally meet Slash, did you? It was kind of.
We didn't. We sat like 5 feet from each other and got drunk, and didn't say anything to the waitress. The girl behind the bar was the only other person in there, and she'd talked to him a little bit, but I never said anything to either of them. But then when I got up to leave, he told me to take it easy.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
And the waistlets.
He had like 8 of them.
But they're like bracelets around your waist. Right?
Like a concho, those concho ones, just a bunch of different kinds. And the only shorts he had on were like those Richard Simmons type. That's all he had. Like those Richard Simmons shorts and then jewelry.
Australian football shorts. Wow.
Yeah. And then anklets, bracelet, waistlet, necklace, earrings, and just a cig and all that hair.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Guns N' Roses.
I sat in Sunset at this little Chinese restaurant one time, and the only 2 people were me and Martin Landau. And so I always told people that I ate lunch with Martin Landau.
Oh, no. Did you say anything?
No.
I try not to, too. One time I walked past Greg Brady and I thanked him for the years of joy.
You thanked him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so one last question. Todd Snider here, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Earl Keen. You listen to Americana Podcast, the 51st State, and we're going to take it out of here with this question, Todd. We at Americana Podcast are really thinking that it's a crime that the beautiful instrument, the B3, doesn't have a better name instead of this kind of military-sounding B3 name. So I wonder if you could, contribute to come up with a new name for us.
Yeah, it's not like a bomber, is it? It's more like a, like a pad. Like a. Oh yeah, what are they going to call that thing? I don't know. That's a good one.
You use B3s, don't you, when you play, right?
I do sometimes. I like, especially on records,
Yeah.
I like to use them like when the chorus comes and just make a nice pad that people can hardly hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes like that. I can't wait for you to hear the new thing I did. I play all the instruments except for the drum kit.
And the title of that is?
The First Agnostic Church of Hope and Wonder.
There you go. Great. Well, we'll look for that, and that follows up your streaming show that you do on Sundays.
Yeah. It's kind of inspired by. I made the whole thing up since we've been home.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we started doing our show on Sunday, and then people started calling it a church, and I started making up songs about it.
Yeah. Hey, it's been a pleasure, Todd. I really enjoyed talking with you. It's fun to kind of go over some old times and get your insight on, everything from songwriting to water buffaloes. So,
well, I'm always
really
love being around you, and I'm honored to be talking to you, and can't wait till I see you again. And just thank you. And love to the whole family out there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Todd.
Thanks, brother.
These conversations are what keep the spirit of Americana alive. Stories that remind us who we are, where we come from, and the songs that carry us through. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and follow Americana Podcast on Instagram and Facebook and share it with a friend to help us grow. If you have questions or comments for the show, please email us at americanapodcast@robertearlkeen.com. And if you would like to make a donation, you can do so by going to our website, americanapodcast.com. You can find more interviews, behind-the-scenes stories, and full video episodes on our website, as well as the official Robert Earl Keen YouTube channel.
At this time, we would like to thank our host, Robert Earl Keen. Americana Podcast is brought to you by Keen Productions, organized by Kelly Thomas, edited by Brett Brock, video edited by Katie Cranbeer, with original music by Kim Warner. I'm your producer, Clara Rose, and until next time, let the music play.